We'll see about the outcome of that right now, because coming up is 120 versus Lin, and I have Remo by my side to cover this amazing game for you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Warcraft fans around the world. 20 hours of Warcraft coverage from Back to Warcraft coming to you straight away. Yeah, we're continuing with GCS today, and you said it. I'm looking forward to this match so much, man. 120 versus Lin. We had a lot of Warcraft, not just yesterday, but the days before. Jera Cups, WNC, and of course GCS before as well. But these are not just the two champions of their respective WCA regions and qualifiers. This is a matchup actually you both really enjoy. I think this is going to be the two masters of the race currently duking it out.
Yeah. I would agree. Lin seems to be superior to Fly, so that makes him the best orc in the world, and for 120 definitely, there's no doubt about that. But the thing is, Lin didn't really practice against undead, I guess. At least in the WCA qualifier, there was no undead, so he didn't have to practice against this. And of course, 120 always has to be prepared for Fly. So I think he has a little edge in that here, in that regard.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. 120 is more comfortable to play against top orcs in tournament settings. And Lin might be really lacking here. He has been playing quite a few very good undeads on ladder, of course, on the NetEase, where he qualified for this event. But, ladder is still ladder. And actually, when I was watching Lin in his games, I have not been watching as much as you, but I felt like undead was certainly not his strongest matchup.
Me neither. But I think the game here is about to start. We have TH once again as the caster in China, together with Xiao Lin or whatever he is. But very interesting here that the players can hear the commentators. Foggy said it in an interview. Might be another advantage for 120. But maybe he's so in the zone that he doesn't really recognize it. I mean...
No, I don't know, like if it's really loud or if you can just hear buzzing sounds. But if you can really hear what they're saying... That's super unfair.
No, I don't think so. Maybe I got him wrong as well, but I have to re-listen to the interview to see that. But I think they make sure that the production is so good, I think they make sure that they cannot hear the casters.
Yeah, it would of course be a glaring error, so I can't really see that happening as well. Hopefully not. Yeah, we both kind of see 120 in a bit of an advantage. He defeated Lin earlier this year in the WCA qualifier, which he in the end won. He defeated Fly, yes, of course. He defeated Fly 2-0. And the grand final just a few days ago, he defeated ZDR. We both casted that as well. It went 2-0 in the beginning, and we thought it was a best of 3, and it looked easy. But it turned out it was best of 5, actually, which was communicated to us pretty late. And then he started to struggle, man.
Really?
He started to struggle really hard. I think map number 3 and 4 he played worse than I've seen him play in a long time. So I think if 120 plays his best, he has excellent chances. But we have seen him struggle a little bit just recently.
Indeed, when he struggled, it was always against the Shadowhunter. I think he feels very, very comfortable against the Tauren Chieftain when he can play Pit Lord as the third hero and not the Dark Ranger. Whenever he plays the Dark Ranger, and this goes for his Sirius versus Fly as well. Pit Lord seems to be an easy win for him. When he plays Dark Ranger, he struggles.
Yeah, exactly. I think you got it mixed up there in the beginning. So against the TC, he feels uncomfortable, and against Shadowhunter, he feels comfortable. Because, of course, against the TC, you have to go for the Dark Ranger. But there was a game that was so close. There was the deciding game on Last Refuge, and you almost lost it, and there was a Shadowhunter. But the funny thing is, the statistics still hold true. He always wins against SH, he always loses to TC. Not always, actually. He wins against TC as well, but he has more issues, as it seems. Is it gonna be the case again, Neo?
We saw the two players for just a short amount of time, and here we go in-game already. Frostmourne on the Frozen Throne. One of the two players will make it to the playoffs directly. One will have to face Foggy. We're here, everybody. In the game. 0-0 winner bracket final Golden Championship Series Group B. Best Undead versus Best Orc. Let the games begin.
Alright then, to start off, we have Amazonia. Small map, easy to pressure, regardless if you're the orc or if you're the undead. And of course, when you're the orc, you are expected to be applying pressure early. And yeah, Amazonia, it's very easy to find out where the undead is, so you shouldn't have too much issues pressuring 120 here if you want to. 120 also has some interesting creep routes. I think here he takes the Sasquatch immediately, then he retreats and goes towards his Goblin Lab. But those games have been streamed, those games have been shown. Lun may have studied up on them and may have a special idea. And also what we touched on earlier here, Shadowhunter or TC. This usually is a very bad TC map. Hard to level up your TC. The undead is always close by, but if you get an advantage early on, you can still pull it off. Is he gonna be able to? We're gonna see.
We're gonna see about that. This is the first time these two players collide. Of course, during 120's ascendance to the top of Warcraft, Lin was in the army. Maybe he doesn't even know 120 that great, but just as Moon said, Lin was stating as well, this guy is the most talented dude in the entire Warcraft scene. I saw him and I was blown away by his micro. I'm so excited, man. I don't even know what to say. I wasn't that excited for a Warcraft game since WCA finals, and this really is when it's so rare in today's Warcraft scene that something happens for the first time. This happens for the first time, and it couldn't be any better. I expect a spectacle from these two players.
This is pretty much new school versus old school. Lin has been there for many, many years, and 120 he is now the rising star. I think this I hope this is going to be a good match as well. I don't really care who wins. I just hope both players show us their best. And if they do, it can only become a great game.
Yeah. On paper, this is already a match of the year, but let's see if they hold up to the expectations. Blade Master, obviously. Bad first item drop with the Ring of Protection, but he will get very, very close to level 2. On the other side, 120 is starting with a Fiend build order. Death Knight is only dropping out and now, and will start to creep the same laboratory spot here as well. Lin with a 2 burrow tech, as it seems, lining up another grunt here, and the shop is coming as well, so he can heal up his Blade Master, so a very safe route for him.
And very, very, very early game, little tactics here. Interesting to see. 120 changing up his creep route. He's going for the Goblin Lab, which is standard, but before he went for the Merchant. And that's exactly where the peon is scouting. And the peon sees that the undead isn't here. So the Blade Master, most orcs, would go immediately towards the undead side and try to keep him from level 2 if they can, steal some creeps. But no, he decides to get level 2 first himself, then get the circlet, and maybe continue on creeping. So right off the bat, it seems like Lun is playing this fairly passively.
Yeah, indeed, but he is prepared. He saw the games against ZDR, most likely. They were both in Beijing. I think they spent some time together for the WCA finals. So yeah, he's creeping the Sasquatch now with 2 grunts. Of course, they tank a lot of damage. It takes some time, but you get close to level 3 with that one. Skeleton scouts this, and 120 immediately starts his creep here, so he knows he has a bit of time that he can use to get also close to level 3. We see the Watcher wards for Lin.
An excellent early game awareness and scouting by both sides. They creep efficiently and simultaneously they get information on the opponent. That's exactly what we are expecting with these high level players. DK almost level 2 and the Blade Master even closer. If the Death Knight gets the Murlocs here next to his main, I think he should be level 3. Lun, is he gonna try to keep his opponent from this? No. Lun being very, very reserved this early game.
That shows you all the respect that these two players have for each other. 120 said Lun is the best orc in the world, and I don't know, I'm not too confident, but he looks, I don't know, he looks very chilled. He looks very chilled when I saw him here on camera. Lin on the other side, Ugri said it, this time he went to the studio a lot earlier, not as chilled as he was against Foggy yesterday. So he's feeling the pressure.
Alright, now both first heroes have hit level 3. Blade Master going towards the main, maybe trying to look for some ghoul attacks. Nope, not gonna go for him. The base is also closed, unlike it was yesterday by Enter, unfortunately. So he's not gonna find anything, but he's gonna finally be able to steal some creeps. This should be an easy last hit. He misses it, actually. Very rarely. And Blade Master miscontrolled by Lyn. He gets the item anyways, I think. But the Fiend here is in a bit of trouble. There should be enough mana for coils, though. 120 keeps him alive for now. He hasn't had the unfortunate disadvantage of eating an end snare on the Fiends, so he's retreating back to the base. He's taking quite a bit of damage, has to use the mana of the DK to keep him alive, but they do stay alive. So both players now starting to feel each other out for the first time, but nothing being accomplished. Well, nothing too much, but maybe now a grunt might be falling. But there's a speed scroll, should it become necessary. Is he gonna pay attention to the Fiend at the same time? Oh, he could get the kill with a coil if he so desires, but then he might lose a Fiend. Actually, he gets the coil, he gets lasted without the coil, saves the Fiend, but I think the other one will fall.
Yeah, a little...
Oh, the block!
Oh, nice block by 120, but okay, now it's over! Oh my god, the coil just barely misses because the Windwalk was a little too fast. Nice little exchange here to start the early mid-game. One Fiend versus one Grunt down, and we see the Tauren Chieftain by Lyn.
Wow.
That's a move.
That's pretty damn risky. Of course, he goes with the Spirit Lodge, playing without heal and without Spirit Link is pretty much a death sentence to any orc against Undead. But if he gets disrupted a lot by the Undead, if he gets harassed a lot, this TC is gonna have a tough time. Also, he lost a Grunt, not to forget, making creeping more difficult. Sentry Ward in the middle of the map, providing nice information for Lyn. Sees the Undead coming, so he has to retreat. And look at this, the Fiend's going to the top left, and the Skeleton scouting the TC right now. Scouting game absolutely outstanding by 120.
Yeah, has to be careful about this Fiend, but level 2 coil provides the healing once again. So the Blade Master has to retreat without a kill. He doesn't find levels on the TC yet. As you mentioned, the second hero choice has been scouted, and this is looking fairly promising for 120. The Lich is out. Tier 3 tech is started. Slaughterhouse is coming. On the other side, Lyn is going for Tier 3 as well. Raider Walker combo, and later followed up by Headhunters and Kodos to get the full Orc tech tree, most likely. 120 continuing to creep, of course. The Lich needs levels, at least level 2 for the first Nova level, level 3 for the second Nova level would be amazing, but as we mentioned earlier in the cast, it's hard to find the levels here on Amazonia.
And the Grunts, interesting movement by Lyn. He's trying to keep the Undead busy, going like, look at my Grunts, look at my Grunts, they're here, they want to creep here, so you better stay here and disrupt my creeping. But actually, the Blade Master and the TC and one Spirit Walker are taking the Merc camp by themselves. This is not the most effective, not the quickest way of creeping. You share experience with the Blade Master and there's no Grunts here, but you get some creep camps, you know? If you go with your main army with the Grunts, then 120 might just be there all the time and you might not be getting anything. So strategically, early game, I think this is already pretty cool to see, but still, I have to question the TC. Last year and the year before that, Fly was struggling heavily against Undead, and it seemed like a lot of that reasoning was because he was so stubbornly going for the TC. Chechi, for example, was a player that heavily criticized him for that, always going for the TC, being so predictable, being so vulnerable in the mid-game stages. And now we might be having the first engagement. DK is coming from the main with the orb, but it's not here yet, and the statue will be the first victim.
Yeah, there's no way to coil it, there's no way to morph it into a destroyer, so the statue falls, and that means no healing anymore for the Undead. What a beautiful stomp by Lyn, oh my god! Hitting the entire army, what can he do now? Tauren Chieftain dropping down to 50%, nice coil saving the Fiend here. Blade Master is kinda exposed, there's no healing on him. Oh my god, that burrow with 3 HP saving it, and Lyn has to retreat. The Micro Monster 120 prevailing in this fight, but holy shit, what an opening.
Yeah, very well done by 120. Also that stomp, beautiful, and he goes for the Pit Lord despite there being a TC. This is now a good idea, but once the TC is level 3, I think it's almost going to be impossible to win a fight. But right now, it's strong. But what I wanted to mention as well, 120 caught a lucky break there. Usually you need a destroyer to be able to win that fight. Zapper in the main. Is there speed scroll? Yes, there is, but it's on cooldown.
Oh boy.
When's he gonna see it?
He's not sniping it here. He's not sniping it at all. Yet now he is. The ghouls are coming, but no. But only getting one ziggurat. Keeping 120 supply stuck for now. He can't morph destroyers now.
And if he loses the Acolyte, it's gonna take a long time, but he saves the one Acolyte to the side. He has one more Windwalk. Is 120 gonna run home for this? He loses all of the ghouls, and he's pretty low on lumber. And of course, this is all supposed to create space for the creeping of the TC. But 120 doesn't take the bait. He's going into the Orc main.
Indeed, he's going for the shop and that will die. I thought about the Shadowhunter third, but of course if you can't get the TC-23, you don't want to share your experience with the Shadowhunter as well. Reinforced defense upgrade very, very fast. Lun was expecting a push to come, and let's see what he can do in the main base of 120. Level 4 on the Blade Master already. Critical strike level 2, but 4 out of 5 Acolytes are still alive. But here comes the Raiders. That forces 120 into a town portal. He gets the burrow in the end, so Lin is supply stuck as well. Oh, but getting that Fiend, very nice. No Nova available, since there's no level 2 on the ledge.
That one Zapper really is screwed with 120, taking a lot of damage, but the upside for him, he did not give up too much to the TC. He's still level 1, well, he's basically level 2, but he could have gotten more space out of the TC here, I feel, but he was threatening the attack with the TC as well. By the way, there is still no dust on the Orc. He should have easily won the first fight this game with a dust, but he forgot about it. Is he gonna get it now? He only gets a Scroll of Healing. No invul, no dust. Lun, I think you're making a few mistakes here. Level 2 now for the Lich. First Stomp, beautiful in everything, but still only level 1. Blade Master also not here. Kodo getting in, but not quick enough to eat. Ends now on the statues. No Destroyers up in the air. Next Stomp, hitting nicely as well. But now the TC is out of mana. Kodo has been ensnared by the creeps. Might fall, but actually no. Spirit Link keeps him all alive, and there's no Destroyers here. I think he was supply blocked. Now the Lich in a lot of trouble. Being coiled up again. He's ensnared. He's almost around, but now the TC also in trouble. Healing Scroll keeps him alive, and he has to be careful with his heroes. Again, there is no healing here for Lin.
There's Nova, and the Torrent Chieftain is most likely dead. Yes, using a coil. He has a big mana potion to get things done here, but the Lich has to be very, very careful. I don't know if the coil is still on cooldown. No, it's not. And Lin is losing unit after unit thanks to the Orb of Corruption here. Looking good for 120. He wants the Lich so badly. Critical strike, but the coil arrives in time again.
He has so little army remaining only here, 120, but the heroes really seem to be doing it. He's getting rid of the raiders, he's getting rid of the ensnare. He knows when he cannot be ensnared, he will not lose his heroes, most likely anyways. I think there was a missed coil, I think that was supposed to go into the Fiend, borrowing it now and saving it that way. Again, there is no dust here, and the greater men are really coming in big for 120. He's gonna get another grunt here, might be getting another walker with a coil if he wants to. He can get it. He's not gonna do it though.
38 food for 120, 36 for Lin. A game on a knife's edge. She's getting maybe another statue if he gets the purge. There's no Windwalk anymore for the Blade Master and no boots, so he has to be careful about that. Level 2.5 on the Lich. Level 2 on the Pit Lord as well. Cleave attack most likely. So a little area of effect damage. The Torrent Chieftain only now being revived. That took some time. He's focusing on the army first. And since the Blade Master is so far away, he can't heal up the rest of the army. And a lot of hurt units are in Lin's main base now.
I don't know why Lin is hanging around here. If he eats, like if there was a Frost Armor on the statue, he gets slowed and then Coil No, but he might just die here. He had no mana for Windwalk. This was so risky. If 120 had been really quick for the Frost Armor, this Blade Master would have died, I'm pretty sure. Now it's too late. Now he has mana for Windwalk, but he's still hanging around here. I guess he's slowing down the undead. Finally, here comes the reveal. The Destroyer Morph as well keeps the statue alive, or now a Destroyer, I guess. And now, this is looking a lot better for 120. He still won the last fight, which he wasn't really supposed to. But again, it's 120, man. What he pulls out of the hat is crazy. Now he finally has Destroyers. No more Spirit Link. And these heroes had a tough time before staying alive. Is Lin finally gonna buy the invuls? He needs to. He's at the shop. Yeah, invul, heal scroll, here we go. And I think the other invul will go to the undead. So one of the heroes is gonna be very vulnerable for Lin.
Yeah, of course the TC is a little more tanky, but he lost them in the first fight. Is he back now? Yes, he is. And he needs heal self so bad. Look at this. The Raider low, the Grunt low, the Walker low. He has 2 Kodo Beasts, though he can eat um, a few fiends if he wants to, and if he gets the speed scroll on top of things. Lin wants to harass the base again, but he has to step back. The undead is knocking at his door, getting a headhunter for basically free. No, letting him escape. Frostmourne hungers and gets him. We have to mention Illyria's Fruit of Accuracy. This is 10% damage on every undead unit.
Blade Master was trying to deal some damage in the main, but for his troubles he only got a single ghoul, not really what he wants. Now starting to lose peons, actually nicely saving it into the burrow. Here comes the fight. Statues being morphed before the ensnare lands. Very nicely done. Going for the walkers right away. He knows once the Dispel is gone, the Howl of Terror is extremely powerful for him. Here comes the first Howl, and there's no mana for Disenchant. Everything is damage reduced by the Orcish side, but he's been eating with the Kodos, man. Double Fiends in the belly. He's getting rid of the Raiders next. Level 3 for the Pit Lord, but now the involts of the Orcish side are gone. The heroes are very vulnerable, but he's going for the Kodo Beast. Now the Blade Master might be in trouble. Level 4, almost level 5. Nova on the Kodo, killing that, getting a Fiend back, but the Destroyer, the last one, might fall here, but without any Berserkers, he's really, really tanky.
Oh, nice stomp again here. Stumping everything. There's one more walker, so the Howl of Terror was immediately dispelled, but now the Blade Master exposed, being close to level 5.
The TC, no trouble. Coil Nova dead again. Level 2 only, and he will be remaining level 2 for a long time. And that's the GG. The low level TC really not able to shake it in the end.
Yeah, that was a mistake by Lin going for the TC, in my opinion. Oh, the stream is frozen, unfortunately. I would love to see the reactions of the players, but sometimes the Chinese streams don't work that well. That was some intense micro we saw here already. And those players definitely delivered what we promised you.
Very, very interesting game. Also very unusual. Lin being so passive early on. Getting the 1-for-1 trade, 1 grunt for a fiend. That's a good trade for the orc, but it's still pretty even, you know? And then he gets the TC. Of course, TC, we always say it week before level 3, but still, he was able to fight with Spirit Link, the first fight, and 120 was going out without destroyers. I think if there's one mistake on 120, I think he is a little bit too confident before he has all his tier 3 online, before he has the triple hero, before he has the destroyers. I think that's where he's showing some vulnerability. And he almost got punished heavily for it. The first fight, if there was dust there, 2 fiends die. So Lin, not getting a dust, huge mistake actually. So I think Lin is showing more weakness than, or he's looking a little less solid, I guess I should rather say, than I was expecting.
Yeah, yesterday versus Foggy, he seemed a little shaky as well, except on game 3, of course, which was just absolutely perfect. But on map 1 and 2, we saw that he is not perfect. And 120 is absolutely capitalizing about that. Every single small mistake gets punished by the undead here. It's just incredible. We see some highlight clips on the Chinese stream as well. This is where the Torrent Chieftain will die, I think. Yes, a lot of trouble. So heavily going for the Lich might have been a problem as well. But of course, it's all the opportunity.
That was also a weird choice. I don't know if he clicked on the DK's inventory or not, but he found the greater mana there. By the way, that was pretty much the reason he won that fight. So fortunate in that regard.
Yeah, definitely.
But top players should always scout for the inventory, obviously. And when there's so many coils on the DK and you don't have Hex, you know, it's so tough to take out the heroes. So
he also had a Wen of mana stealing, by the way. So even more mana.
Yeah, it was pretty damn good for 120. But curious decisions by Lin. But also 120, I think he has to prioritize destroyers more. Not having enough almost cost him heavily that game.
Yeah, was risky, but it paid off in the end, and it was worth it for him. See the end of the fight, the end of Lin, the focus on the Blade Master who got away, and then counter focus on the TC with a coil and Nova, and that was the end for Lin. Game number 2, Twisted Meadows.
Wow. I don't know how exactly the vetoing process works, but in general, the rule of thumb is Twisted Meadows is the worst map for Undead versus Orc, coming from the Undead side. So, makes sense that Lin would pick it. I would love to know the vetoes. Did we get a chance to see them? Or I think not,
No,
right?
unfortunately not.
Well, of course, it's a best of 3. And actually, 121 here before. I'm sorry, I forget if it was against 120 against ZDR or Fly, but he won on Twisted Meadows before with mass air against the high level TC. He was like, all right, you got Stomp level 3. Well, I guess I make no ground units then. Might this be the answer once again?
We'll see about that. Lin spawning in the upper left. He has to win this map or he gets thrown down to the loser bracket facing Foggy for the second time in these days. In the bottom right, 120 who looked so strong. But usually Twisted Meadows a little better for the orc. Maybe even the opportunity to go for triple hero this time.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be the best map. If we see triple hero from the orc, it's usually Twisted or Turtle Rock. Because again, the heroes really only start coming online upon reaching level 3. SH level 1 and 2. When you add him a third, in a late game scenario with like 70 supply, having a level 1 heal wave, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not worth 425 gold and 5 supply. So, we'll see. One thing I'm looking out for 120 here, he won the first game, but I think there's still a few things that he can look at in this game and going like, whew, that was close, man. Maybe I was a little bit lucky in that regard. I think maybe he should be a little more conservative with his movement before Destroyers and Orb. And Lin might be looking to look for that opportunity, window of opportunity again, because again, if there had been a dust, this fight, the first one of the last game, would have looked entirely different. But if he wants to find 120 here early on, it's going to be a lot harder because Twisted Meadows, the biggest map we have in the map pool.
Yeah, and I read an interview with Fly yesterday on the mini site that Blizzard is providing for this tournament, or NetEase is providing, and he says, when I face Undead, man, it's so hard if the map is small. I really love to play on big maps because I can get my heroes up more comfortably, more comfortable. I can find better items. So Melting Valley, Turtle Rock, and Twisted Meadows are the best maps against Undead in his regard. We haven't heard from Lin. He's what?
Lin going for an unusual build order here, by the way, going for an immediate shop. Usually that one is delayed a little bit. Of course, he knows that there's gonna be a Ted BO coming with a fast DK and late Fiends. Acolyte scouting for this. Yeah, sorry to cut you off there. But yeah, I think this is a big preference thing, though. Some orcs like the small maps. The orcs that like to pressure really hard, always be on the Undead's tail. And other orcs, you know, they like to take it late game. If you get a SH, level 3, level 4, level 5, same can be said for the TC, you can start to feel very comfortable.
True that, but usually I'd say Fly is a very aggressive player, and still he prefers this. So maybe in the end this is a little easier for Orc. Lin is coming for the Death Knight, and he is surrounded, getting the call, getting the last hit. But what's it worth if you lose your first hero, Town Portal, or does he let the Death Knight die? He lets him die, and what an early game for Lin.
Did you see that with the skeleton? He tried to deny himself. But denying yourself with a skeleton compared to Blade Master damage, you have to be extremely lucky or extremely good. This time it didn't work. Yeah, he lets him die, no TP used. But he almost was level 2 already, and after this, the Blade Master is gonna be just barely level 2, so he's gonna only be slightly behind. Maybe he gets the last hit here. No, he won't. Blade Master receives the experience. But, I mean, yeah, he loses the DK, but all things considered, I think this is okay, because really, Lin didn't creep anything else apart from that one null and the DK, so hero lost early game, yes, but I don't think as devastating.
Well, he loses time, that is for sure, and how many grunts does he have? 2. He can immediately continue to creep this little spot here, going for more claws, but the scouting game of 120 once again is off the hook, scouting this with a skeleton. The Death Knight is back with the first few fiends, but what can he do now? If he sees, alright, this creep spot is of course empty, what can he accomplish now? And Lin going for Mercenary.
What?
What? And the Berserker? I thought he would be going for the Shadow Priest for healing and a Dispel, but it's just damage. This I've never seen before from an Orc.
Yeah, I don't really get it. Like, grunts, you know, normal damage. pretty good against heroes and against fiends, so seems like a good idea.
But he gets the item
alright.
big invul and additional HP, and he gets the entire creep spot here. 120 cannot do anything against it. He expects Lin where he's supposed to be at the null spot, but no, Lin is one step ahead, cleaning one of the biggest spots here in the middle of the map. Almost level 3 for him.
Alright, tier 2 has been reached by Lin, going for the SH now, not the TC. Seems like he wasn't too satisfied with the performance of the Tauren Warrior. Going for the Shadowhunter here, even though this might be a good TC map, and he actually had a really good early game, I feel. He's level 3 already, he knows the DK is pretty far away from level 3. But now it's gonna be a little bit tough to find the undead. He's looking for the gnolls, he's not there. He's looking at the merchant, he's not there. There's so many takes, so many camps by now that the undead can't take. And my god, extremely quick tier 3, delaying his lich by a lot. Seems like 120 once again taking risks, and the Blade Master's coming in. This might become very painful.
No dust, backstab damage is inbound, and he gets it. And the item level 3.5. Lin is completely destroying 120 so far. Going for the Fiend, there is another coil, only level 1 though. Two more coils are inbound, so the Fiends will all survive. And he's really struggling to find his level 3 in the meantime. The Shadowhunter is out. He can continue to creep, level him up to level 2 for heal wave. And of course Hex as the first spell. Oh, he's going for the Death Knight. He's losing so many HP again. So much HP. Whatever.
Yeah. But I think Lin is going right now. Crap! Why did I go SH? I have so much space right now. If I had gone TC, I would be easily able to get him up to level 3. But hey, what's done is done. And there's still no Lich. Is he actually gonna revolutionize the game and not play Lich second? That would be kind of unbelievable, because Frost Armor, pretty good spell.
I think he wants to get his DK to 3 before he's going for the Lich. We see that sometimes in other matchups, like versus Night Elf and versus Undead.
He might scout the Blade Master being here with a Skeleton. That would be really big. That knows he has a lot of space, at least for a little while. Skeleton sees it right now. And he's starting another creep camp.
Of course, Vampiric Aura for Lin, getting HP back with all the melee attacks that he has, and that is basically everything except the Shadowhunter now. Moving away the Blade Master to get the rest of the XP on the Shadowhunter, getting closer and closer to level 3 for the level 2 heal wave that he so desires. On the other side, 120, you mentioned it, he has time now. He's going for the big one, for the Mercenary camp. Rock Golem is dead, and another mana potion would be the dream. Can't get it at the moment.
Oh boy, he has to pick it up quick. Blade Master's coming in hot, and he gets it, and it's another greater mana. Blade Master does arrive, but a little bit late, and I think actually this was a mistake, but hold that thought. Shadowhunter coming from the top, does he see this? I think he scouted it. Is he gonna be quick enough to hex anything? He's gonna steal it one last hit with the coil, not going for the speed scroll into hex. I think Lin, I mean, he had a really good early game, don't get me wrong, the hero kill really helped him, but why did he creep with his Blade Master along with the SH? If he hadn't done that, he could have easily annoyed more during this creep camp. Then he went over left to pick up some claws of attack, costing more time, giving the DK more experience. I mean, this is, of course, a lot of criticism, a little bit too much criticism, but I think he should really be utilizing his Blade Master and his time better here. 120, I feel, is getting away with more than he should be.
He's trying to harass with the Blade Master here, more and more creeping on the Shadowhunter. This is Rope of the Maggie. Dream drops at the shop. Holy cow, the mana on the Shadowhunter, 420. It's kind of surprising that he doesn't get the Tome of Experience. But here comes 120 with the Lich now, with the Orb of Corruption. But Blade Master's coming in as well. Backstep immediately. There's no Raider with... Okay, there it is. Speed Scroll being used. He wants to engage now. Heal Wave immediately on the Blade Master, level 3.5. No level 2 critical strike. He's going for the Lich. No, the statue, but nice transform again. And now he has magic damage against the Grunts, and he can pick up some units here. Heal Wave again, Pit Lord again.
Alright, I'm surprised he's taking this fight, but the Greater Man are really boosting his confidence, trying to go for the Berserkers. One Fiend has fallen, but the Scourge Bone Chime's really coming into play right now. This Fiend stays alive, though. There is no Orb of Lightning here against the Frost Armor, so if the units are not ensnared, or maybe a Surround on the Blade Master, but he still has the Greater Invul. Do not forget, he's gonna get another Grunt, and 120 being able to accomplish so much. He does still not have a level 3 Death Knight, but Lun is running away. Lun is really, really respectful of his opponent.
Yeah, taking that fight was very promising, but once again, the micro of 120 prevailing. We see the first Kodo Beast and we see the Master upgrade on the Walkers, as well as a very early reinforced defense. He is afraid of the Burugo. He's afraid of being supply stuck like we saw on game 1. Red spot creep for 120 now. He's out of the map. He is not scared of a creep check at all, because once again he is scouting with his skeleton and finding the opponent like so many times before. Statues coming in. He will not be a creep check in this one. Mana Pendant.
Probably the best item on the map. I guess that could be made an argument for Staff of Silence or Zoe Mask or Flute. There's a lot of good items, but this is definitely one of the amazing ones. 250 mana pool on the DK now additionally, and of course so much relies upon the death coils.
And we know 120 is the player with the best coils, with the best timings, with the best decision making. Do I go for the nuke? Do I go for the heal? He knows it better than everyone else, and he has a lot of opportunity to make this ability shine. He's catching Lin again. Level 3.5 and a tiny Great Hall for Lin, but he will get caught. Here comes 120.
Alright, Destroyer is ensnared. He can't dispel all of the Spirit Link just yet. More reinforcements coming from 120 from the main. One statue, one fiend. He would like to wait for them, but he's not going to be able to. There finally is an Orb of Lightning. He's going for the Blade Master. No, not really. Switching now towards the Walkers once again so that there's no dispel, but he's not finding any kills and he's starting to lose units. Seems like he needs a little bit more damage here. Lich is still only level 1. No Nova in this fight, making things really tough for him. He felt like he had to engage, but he's having a really hard time killing anything here. Now finally getting the Raider. That's level 2. Where's the Nova gonna go? He has the mana, more than enough. And he loses more Destroyers, going for the Kodo, and he's gonna get it and get back a Fiend. Can he stay in this fight? There's barely any Spirit Link.
Oh, the Lich is still alive. Another Nova is coming in a second. One more Raider is dying, and Lin is really struggling hard. Howl of Terror is coming in again. He gets another Fiend. No! Burrow saves it again. His timings are off the hook, but now it's time to go for the Lich. Does he have another Hex? No, Coil saves him again. The Mana Pendant is coming into play, losing a Fiend, but getting a Raider in return.
And somehow 120 wins this fight, dependent of mana, man. The DK still has more than 200 to spare. Now going for the Shadow Hunter, but he will get away. Statue dying as well. The Fiends that have been saved by Burrow unburrowing now. Peons totally exposed. The poor workers will be meeting their end. But this tiny Great Hall still in the inventory of Lun. He has only 28 supply and 12 lumber. He's having such a hard time reproducing now.
He felt so comfortable that he invested 700 gold into the tiny Great Hall. The peons moved away from the trees, not harvesting lumber anymore, but he wanted to get more gold. That was a little too confident by the Korean, as it seems. And 120 is playing an amazing game, coming back from the early Death Knight loss, fighting against items like that. I mean, the Blade Master's plus 13. There comes a Kodo Aura on top. He is an absolute beast, and he gets damage back thanks to the Vamp Aura, usually. Leveling for 120. Will he be able to steal something? I don't know. No, he's not doing that so far. Level 4 on the Blade Master, though. Level 2 Critical Strike coming into play. Claws of Attack for the Lich. And the Blade Master is exposing himself, but going into Windwalk. And now Lin is finding another expansion spot here, and this time the tiny Great Hall will come up.
But seems like 120 is going to be able to get another red camp. Blade Master trying to go for some statues here. But 120 is in position. At 50 supply, the Undead is standing comfortably. And Lin only 36. He needs some time. How can he get some time? Can the Blade Master by himself create enough space? I don't know.
Second red spot for the Chinese Undead. He will find level 3 on the Lich after the Warlord is dead. And what item will we see? We have an amazing mana pendant here. Staff of Silence! The Dream! The Dark Ranger, despite having a Pit Lord here, the Shades of the Dark Ranger will be seen in the next fight.
Triple level up thanks to this creep camp. Double level 3 for second and third hero, level 4 for the DK. Level 2 Aura Interestingly, he got the invul on the Lich, making him more survivable, and he's going for the next creep camp, getting more and more experience and maybe some nice items to boot as well. By the way, 120 has gone into upkeep, 53 for him, so he's gonna look for a fight pretty soon. Finding Rune Bracers, really bad for him, but you can't always be lucky, I guess. But Lyn still, he sold the tiny Great Hall.
No, he used it here in the upper
okay.
right, at the upper right starting position, not going for the natural expansions, and maybe he's tricking 120 into believing that he sold the tiny Great Hall. 120 is scouting for that, and so the move of Lyn was the exact correct one. But look at the ghoul scouting of 120. He sees it. He has his eyes everywhere.
Only seconds after the Great Hall's completion, he finds it. And that provides exactly what he wants. A battlefield, and ideally not the Orc base. So I believe he's going to attack the expansion, or maybe he's even going to attack the Orc main. But of course, there you will have to face a lot more disadvantages than you would like to.
Remo, my friend, have you checked the Shadowhunter's inventory?
Oh boy.
Second Robe of the Magi, 630 mana. But what's it worth if the expansion gets cancelled? 120 is on the move. 3 destroyers high up in the air. 2 statues to come for that. And this is gonna be a hard time for Lyn. But he is coming. The Blade Master's kind of low though, 50% HP. He has a bigger invul and a lot of healing on the SH. The peon line is completely irradiated, and Lyn is taking his time, going to the shop once more for invul potions and heal scrolls. He only got the heal, level 5 on the SH, by the way.
But no invul on the Shadowhunter, man. This guy is vulnerable. If he's out of position once, he might just die immediately if the heal wave is on cooldown. Here comes the engagement.
The tiny Great Hall is not dead yet, but it will be. Going for the Raider, immediately healing, but what's it worth? All the mana destroyers are doing so much damage. The Kodo is arriving, so the Blade Master is going ham with a 189 critical strike. A little spike here on my end. He's going for the Kodo Beast. Nice little focus, but he has 2, so the aura will always be there. Coil finishing it. Fiend is back.
And Lyn's forces are evaporating quickly. SH, by the way, now totally out of position, and the heal wave is on cooldown. This would be a good opportunity for Focus. Doesn't go for it, though. He's content with just going for the army, and he should be. 35 only remaining for the Orcs. Still the Undead towering up at 62 supply. Silence on the Blade Master. Still has the invul. Will have to use it soon. Uses it right now. Blade Master is standing strong, yes, but only 2 units on his side. Scratch that. Only 1 unit on his side. And once the Kodo falls, that it will mean 1 more Fiend for the Undead side, and that's only gonna be a matter of seconds, milliseconds in fact. 120 still, 59 supply. Here's the silence. No more Windwalk, no boots as well, but also no mana for Nova.
Exactly, no heal wave as well. This could have been the dead of the Blade Master, but no. The expansion is down, and it did not pay off at all. 700 gold down the drain, and that's exactly the money that 120 put into his army. 61 food. All the destroyers were doing a great job. And Lyn, what has he left? 36 food. But the heroes, they have to carry. But against the triple hero undead combo with level 4, 4, and 4, how are you supposed to do it? Flute of Accuracy for 120.
My god, the items.
God. Both players have dream items, though.
He would love to get a mana potion right now for the DK. The value of a mana potion with a pendant of mana is just incredible. But the shop is far away, and he smells blood in the water right now. He doesn't want to give his opponent any time. He's going west. He's going for the Orc main. Blade Master scouts this. Not going to be able to get the Fiend kill. Again, the Burrow, and still no dust on the Orc. He hasn't bought a single dust. He's going towards the shop, gets a heal scroll. The invul was on cooldown.
Dust was bought by 120, by the way, so I think the Blade Master could not get it. Few more pickups. Walker dead, Berserker dead, and Lyn has to fight with 37 food in his own base, though. Constant access to mana potions. The Kodo Beast wants to eat, but exposes herself and is dead right away. No more Kodo Aura for Lyn. The damage is lowered to still plus 22 damage. And GG by Lyn! 120 after a horrible early game, just completely annihilating the best player in Korea here on Twisted Meadows.
120 making only very few mistakes, and again and again and again. His micro is unbelievable. But especially map number 2. I'm sorry, but I have to say I think Lund played pretty bad. For Lund standards, I think that was pretty bad. Blade Master control in the early game could have been way better, could have kept the undead down way more. Later on, in the one decisive fight when he was trying to go for the Expo, he had 2 walkers and there was barely any Spirit Link. Yeah, Spirit Link is kind of a liability against a lot of destroyers, but there was one destroyer. One single destroyer. Big mistake not going for a lot of Spirit Link. And also, not a single dust! Man, map number 1, no dust purchased. I think, alright, can happen. Map 2, he's definitely going to be thinking about it. Again, forgot the dust. So many fiends have been saved. Lyn really met his match here today, and Lyn, at least so far, it doesn't seem to be his day at all.
Yeah, and that might be the chance for Foggy. He is meeting Lyn now for the last remaining spot into the playoffs. 120 is facing TH in the playoffs, and the winner of Foggy versus Lyn is gonna face Infi. So, is this not Lyn's day today? We heard from Ugrilainen that he is not sleeping too well because he's in a room with Lucifer, and Lucifer is apparently snoring like crazy. So Lyn is not as relaxed as he was the days before. This might be Foggy's chance here, but once again, 120, what a phenomenon. This guy is 19 years old, 3rd offline event, I think, or 4th offline event, and he's playing like he has never done anything else in his life but playing Warcraft competitively, stomping one of the greatest players of all time. Zero respect. Oh, well, there was respect, but it's just crazy. This guy is just crazy. And he's not fully committing to Warcraft. He's playing Hearthstone as a side job as well. So, I don't know. I've never seen someone like him in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And actually, we all know probably there's going to be a patch coming soon. And we're all hoping for undead buffs. But if 120 keeps on playing like this, maybe there won't be any undead buffs because he's just making opponents look silly in many games.
Okay, I'm calling Ugri now. Let's see what he experienced in Shanghai. If the Chinese were cheering for their undead hero as well. Ugrilainen, of course, very experienced with Warcraft games, but mostly with FFA games. And he's twittering like crazy.
Hi.
And there he is.
Hey.
Hey, Ugri.
And you, Remo, how are you?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So yeah, that was an amazing game. Everybody saw. I was watching with Fly 100 and Zushishi and one admin. It was like 120 came back from something nobody done before. I think well, you saw the game, but about Foggy, Foggy was like a boxer. Like he was like like a dog in a cage, like turning around and like closing eyes and sitting, then standing up. He didn't want to watch the first game, second game. He watched a bit. The end, the admin wanted him to go very early to the stage. He said no, he wants to stay and watch. So he's like, this is the moment of his life. But when you're in a situation that you wish that you're going to play against Lyn, and Lyn is like one of the best players of all time, it's like a very hard challenge, but we are going to hope the best for him. Like maybe Lyn has taken a hit of this loss 2-0. Maybe Foggy can work on that.
Exactly. You say you watched the game with Fly 100%. What did he say about Lyn's performance or the game in general?
Well, for me it's difficult because they were all speaking Chinese, so I cannot really give some insight on that. Well, what I can just say is that like they were cheering for 120. I guess it's a Chinese solidarity, so they wanted him to win. And each time 120 made one of these moves, they were like, wow, my God. In Chinese,
Yeah. So you managed to get out of Foggy before that he was feeling comfortable heading into the game against Lyn, but then at some point he started getting nervous. Did you get any impression of him today? Did you get any impression of him today? Does he feel nervous? Is he more used to it now? Is he going to be able to just shut out everything else? What do you think?
Well, I don't know if you can call this nervous or really, really concentrated. Sorry, my English accent, I know is bad, but yeah, it's more concentration than nervousness. I don't really know. He's very tense, but doesn't mean like he's being overwhelmed by emotion. Maybe it's just like he's very focused, but he already changed attitude. Like when we did the first call, we were supposed to watch the game together, then he decided not to, and he didn't want to listen to the comment or read anything. He wanted to be left alone. So when game one started, he just stayed by his own, and I left him alone, like a boxer preparing in his like before his big match. So now is a big match. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it from the impressions. Foggy is
Yeah.
preparing like a boxer. Ugri, once again, thank you for the impressions, man. We will call you after the game of Lynn versus Foggy again.
Okay, my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
We are going into a small commercial break. Of course, Foggy has to set up everything. And we're getting prepared for the final game of the group stage in the Gold Championship Series. Lynn versus Foggy is coming. Europe is cheering for Foggy, of course. He's 2 maps away from meeting Infi in the final, but so is Lynn. We'll see the outcome in just a second.
Hi, I'm Blue.